Nova Scotia flavors are on the menu of a restaurant overlooking the Manhattan skyline. Seadon Shouse is the driving force behind Halifax in Hoboken, New Jersey. Hi there.
Hello.
So you are from Nova Scotia's South Shore.
I am.
And I understand you bring part of your growing up to the restaurant. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so about 8 years ago, just partnered with Michael Barry on creating a restaurant. And his first question for me was, what would you like in a restaurant, in your dream restaurant? And I said, that's something reflecting how I grew up and my kind of upbringing. So that's kind of how we created Halifax Restaurant together.
And what are the ingredients you like to use?
Coastal ingredients, of course. I mean, can't be a Nova Scotian that doesn't love coastal ingredients. I grew up right on the ocean. In big storms, there'd be seaweed on our front yard. So I have a big connection to the coastal kind of environment, seaweeds, seafood. So we're not just a seafood restaurant. We try to be as local as possible. All of our meats are local. All the seafood is North Atlantic seafood from the area. And then, of course, seasonal local vegetables as well.
Well, you're going to make us something today. Tell me about it.
I am, yes. So I'm going to make you some kelp steamed monkfish with a little Nova Scotia snow crab rice and a caviar beurre blanc, so a caviar sauce.
All right, well, show us what you're going to do.
Okay, so first we're going to get the rice started. So for that, we're going to add a little bit of butter. Add some scallions, green onions, Fresno peppers. It's like a medium spiced pepper.
And you just eyeball it, you know by now.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you the exact ingredients. It's actually in my book. But a little bit of shallots, some chives, Parmesan, snow crab. So we clean the crab, just took the meat out. We like a good amount of snow crab.
And that was Nova Scotia?
It is,
yeah?
It is, yes. And then of course rice. So this is Anson Mills rice. So one of my favorite rice is from South Carolina. It's got a really nice nutty flavor. So this is I've already steamed for about 10 minutes just to kind of par cook it. So add rice.
So is this kind of your signature dish at the restaurant?
It is one. It changes. This menu is seasonal, so the menu changes quite often. So it's right this minute it's on the menu, but it will be at certain times of the year. So we'll put a little bit of pepper, some fresh, of course, sea salt, and a little bit of cream. And then we're going to use a little bit of fish stock. We're going to turn it on just to kind of slowly warm up. While that's warming up, we'll get the fish started. So we have monkfish that have cleaned, cut into some medallions.
And you mentioned your cookbook. That's got recipes from your restaurant and probably from your childhood?
Exactly, yeah. Recipes from my upbringing here in Nova Scotia. Foraging recipes, it's 4 sections: hiding, catching, finding, and playing. And they're all kind of meant to kind of envelop a little boy's journey through life as a child. So all the recipes kind of pair with those kind of separate areas. So we've got some Nova Scotia seaweed, some kelp inside of a steamer. So I'm going to then take a piece of kelp on the bottom, piece of kelp on the top, so you get all the flavor while it's steaming. And then we'll just cover it for about 6 to 7 minutes until it's cooked. So now we're going to start the sauce while this is steaming, while the rice is warming up. We're going to make the butter sauce. So we're basically making a beurre monte, which is basically just melted butter.
You can't go wrong with that.
I have a little bit of water in the pot.
Okay.
I'm going to turn the pot on. When that gets hot, we're going to start adding a little bit of butter. And then we're going to add some trout caviar and some Osetra caviar.
So would that be from sturgeon?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, sturgeon caviar.
What's the taste difference between those two?
They're both salty. So most caviars are salty, but the sturgeon is much more nutty, kind of rich texture. The trout caviar is probably my second favorite caviar because it has a nice little pop, really good salinity. It almost has it's not smoked, but it almost has a smoky kind of component to it, and it has a really nice kind of much more textural than it kind of.
Yeah, they're quite a bit bigger.
They are, but I find I like trout much better than salmon caviar. Salmon caviar can be a little fishy sometimes; it's a little strong, so I typically use the trout caviar. So now that we have the water heating up. Once it's mostly melted, I'll pull it off, continue to stir so it doesn't get too hot. If it gets too hot, it could separate. So let that cool down a little bit. So just a little bit of lemon juice. We'll add some salt, some pepper, some chives, and then the caviar. So really you can add as much or as little caviar as you'd like. You don't have to use a couple different kinds of caviar, but I like the flavors of both.
It gives you a bit of different colors too.
Of course.
Mix up.
So this sauce is ready now. We'll just wait for the fish and the rice to finish. First we'll put some of the crab rice.
It's beautiful.
And we'll grab some of the steamed monkfish. Take the caviar beurre blanc over each piece of fish. And then we'll finish with a little bit of lemon zest and sea beans. And then we'll finish with a little bit of smoked paprika oil. Adds a touch of smokiness, and of course a nice little color as well.
Fantastic.
And here we have it.
All right. Dig in. It's so pretty, I almost hate to mess it up. Almost.
That texture in the monkfish.
That is delicious. Welcome home, and thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Amy.